Alright, want to do a video here on the trade that I made today. This is going to be on Luckin Coffee. So I had done a video on this just a few days ago, and something struck my eye as I was looking through the charts today, and I ended up making a trade on it. So this is going to be ticker symbol LK, currently here on the hourly time frame, which gives us a nice overview of Luckin, say over the past couple of weeks or so, this downward trend that we saw from those highs around $51 a share all the way down to that big decline after those accusations came out last Friday, and now a nice little rebound off that low around $27, and we're sitting up about 30% from that low. But what was really notable yesterday was that we broke through this downward trend. That's what I was really wanting to pay attention to. And yesterday I missed that nice little run up. That was a nice about 9% gain. And then today we actually gapped up. But at that point, I think that we had really swung pretty quickly. And so some of the people that had purchased down here, say in the low 30s, that were just looking for a quick gain, when they got up to that $40 price point, they decided to take profits, and that's why we saw this big dip early on today, which recovered slightly. You can see we closed right around, even for the day. But I want to jump into my trade here again. So this is what initially sparked my interest, was that we broke through this downward trend, and we had started to see this upward trend forming, and that's what I traded off of. So let's go ahead and move into the 15-minute time frame. So you can see here, this is based off of our low that we set around 27. We had an aftermarket hours, touch right near this upward trend, but then today we saw this big move to the downside, and then a wick formed. We broke down all the way to 34, and then we started moving back up, and that is what I was interested in. So moving into the 1-minute chart, this is where I got in, was early on this morning. My order filled at 9:49 this morning at $34.94 a share. And so let's see, that was right around in here. So what I was really looking for, we had popped back up, and we did not continue selling off, so we popped back up, and what I was looking for was to set a lower low and then move higher from there, and then setting my target just below $36. And I didn't want to be over ambitious and set it near that $37 price point, which I guess was a little bit of a mistake, leaving some on the table, but that is a-okay. So I set this order in at 9:49, got filled. I think the lowest we went was down here at 34.72. Then I headed on to class, and my class started right at 10. I had set my take profit at $35.78, so that's about a 2.5% gain, and I thought that was pretty reasonable based off of what we had seen trading in the previous days. I thought that there might be some resistance around 36, and people might start to sell a little bit before then, but I definitely knew that there was some potential if this kept moving to the high side, and that's where we saw the levels around the high 36s and up to 37. But again, I was heading to class, and I just wanted to play this because I thought it definitely had some potential to hit my target, and it did. Within 15 minutes, I was able to bring in 2.4% on this trade, and I hardly even looked at it. It was really no effort into the trade. It was just a nice little momentum play that really could have provided, if I was actually paying attention to the trade, it could have been more of a 5% gainer. But again, we can always say that, but when it comes down to it, you want to look at the real trades that you actually put on. So I was able to get out at 10:04 while my class was going on. Did not know until after the class that everything had filled. Was trying to pay attention and learn, but anyway, it filled right in here on this nice little push up I was able to get out. So all of 15 minutes, I was able to make 2.4% on that trade. Now, looking moving forward, it still does show some good signs that we could continue now this upward trend. If we're looking here on the hourly, again, we've broken this downward trend. We've started this new move to the upside, but we are kind of getting pinched in between this level here at 37 and now this upward trend line, and we're starting to see these moving averages consolidate. So as they consolidate, I would like to see the price continue to push higher. Again, these specific levels that we want to see it push through and hold above would be 37 for starters, and then as we move higher, we can start to see right around 38, the highs that we saw this morning where we saw the sell-off. It would be important to see us move through that level. And again, I don't think this is all going to be one move. I'm sure that it'll be choppy as it has been since we bounced off of these lows. But these are important levels to look at. But now if we were to break down to the low side, I think what would be important is Monday's high, as it acted as a support today. So if we come back down there again, is it going to act as a support? So meaning if this continues to drop down, we don't really bounce off of these moving averages. Will we bounce off of the, today's low, Monday's high, or are we going to continue to break down? If we continue to break down from there, I would be looking right around $33 a share. If we move lower than there, I would really start to reconsider the overall trade. The PPO is looking good to move up, but if it starts to break down from here and we start to set lower lows than we had back here, we could quickly end up back down here at 27. So I do think that some of the volatility has left this stock. So to see a move that big over the course of a couple days, I don't think that that's necessarily reasonable, but it could happen. So just you want to pay attention to these levels and set up a trade that you think is going to work out the best for you, that you don't really have to babysit and give all of your attention to. If you're looking at a stock that is going to, it's going to be a good trade, you really shouldn't have to watch it like an eagle just in case there's a quick dip. You should be trading with the trend in your favor. But anyway, I hope that this video helped you guys out a little bit and kind of gave you an idea of how I was able to trade Luckin today pretty easily in a pretty short time frame. So if you don't get a lot of time to trade throughout the day, that this was an example where things were able to line up for me and I was able to put on a trade that was pretty profitable. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you learned something.